welcome. This is Amhara Media Corporation English Service and you're watching our daily updates. I'm Gaila Damu. Stay with us. African Union Political Affairs, Peace and Security Commissioner Bankole Adeoye said the African Union is pleased with the milestone achievements attained with the full implementation of the Pretoria Peace Agreement for lasting peace in Ethiopia. Ron Workna reports.
African solutions to African problems is mostly demonstrated symbolically, in reality. In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, Ambassador Bankole said the African Union welcomes the steps made by both the federal government and the TPLF. The African Union is very pleased with the steps and milestones being achieved by the parties towards the full implementation of the Pretoria Agreement on lasting peace through cessation of hostilities on the northern Ethiopian question. We welcome the steps being made, and the African Union Commission has been mobilizing partners to support the implementation of the DDR process, particularly in relation to disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. The Commissioner added that some 12 African observers are presently in Mekelle to monitor the ceasefire and verify the compliance of the peace process and are doing a good job. Most importantly, we also welcome the recent appointments of the interim administrator for the Tigray region. We look forward to peace in Ethiopia, and as the African Union, we salute the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, as well as the Chairperson of the Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, and the high-level panel for the job they're doing in monitoring the peace in Ethiopia. It is important that the Africa we want also is Ethiopia at peace. He emphasized that the Pretoria Peace Agreement and the ongoing implementation depicted that Africa can solve its problems by itself. African solutions to African problems is mostly demonstrated symbolically, in reality, by the success so far of the peace agreement signed in Pretoria, South Africa. We are assured and encouraged and indeed inspired by this strides being made through the Ethiopian peace process, and we want to replicate it. We want to put forward lessons learned. The African Union is working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia to put pressure the lessons learned that will be shared with other conflict zones, he said, adding so that they can all learn from Ethiopia in terms of implementation of the ceasefire, in terms of dearmament, demobilization and reintegration, in terms of the political dialogue and most importantly, reconciliation and dialogue. Speaking of consultations that Ethiopia is undertaking with pertinent stakeholders on developing transitional justice policy, Political Affairs, Peace and Security Commissioner noted they welcome that consultations on transitional justice, they indeed are working together with the Ministry of Justice on the policy for transitional justice. Bankole stated that African Union is pleased that transitional justice and accountability issues remain high on the agenda. It is to be recalled that basic services including telecom, flight, electricity and other services have been resumed following the peace deal. And recently, the Ministry of Education is making all-round preparations to resume general education, including in 4 universities in Tigray region, and similarly, Ministry of Logistics and Transport is making efforts to restore road transport service to the region.
University presidents have called on the downstream countries of Abai River to support Ethiopia's green development efforts and sustain water flow of the river. Abeba Brahani tells us more.
Bahar Dar, Devre Marcos and Gambella University presidents told the Ethiopian news agency that sticking to unreasonable issues would not help the downstream countries. Bahar Dar University President Freu Tagain said that his university has conducted extensive studies and research on natural resources conservation activities on Abai River and Tana Basin for over 10 years. Among the researches included the study on how to extend the lifespan of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam by 3 times by preventing sedimentation. The president underscored that the downstream countries should therefore assist Ethiopia in its Green Legacy Initiative, a massive tree seedlings planting program in order to prevent the impact of climate change. He added that Ethiopia's green economy is also instrumental to ensuring a sustainable water flow in the lower riparian countries, as the country is a major source of the Abai River.
When I look at it rationally, the downstream countries should contribute to the construction of Renaissance Dam and the environmental initiatives because the project has huge benefits to the downstream countries, and there are professional, ethical and international experiences which say countries have to pay for the services they get in the future.
However, the president lamented that the countries are not helping the efforts of Ethiopia and its people. Instead, they create unnecessary disputes. Debre Marcos University President Tafere Melaku stated on his part that adequate research activities have not been carried out considering the size of the watershed on Abai River. According to him, although the downstream countries routinely undermine Ethiopia's right to use and develop the river, their opposition has never been scientific. He noted that it is political.
The countries which are criticizing Ethiopia for using the river to generate power from the very outset should think of working together to ensure a sustainable flow of Abai water. To tell the truth, they have never thought that the water of Abai River could disappear if sufficient environmental protection work is not done on it. This is the biggest and basic problem. If all the countries in the basin work together and cultivate the natural resources in the basin, it will be possible to have water that is not only adequate for the riparian countries, but also for others.
The president finally called on Ethiopian universities to jointly work researches on Abai River Basin with universities of the downstream and upstream countries. Gambella University President Ojulu Okok said environmental and green development endeavors of Ethiopia have to be supported by the downstream countries, since the country is the major contributor to Abai River.
Ethiopia is a major water supplier for the Nile River. Therefore, supporting the country's endeavors will ensure mutual benefits of all countries from the river.
Ministry of Labor and Skills has signed an agreement with a Chinese company, Orient International Holdings, to enhance the efficiency of professionals in the textile sector and create more job opportunities in Ethiopia. Fukradi Zaudu tells us more.
It was indicated the agreement is expected to help produce capable human power in the textile industry and create more job opportunities in the sector. Speaking on the occasion, State Minister of Labor and Skills Dr. Tashale Berecha said that Ethiopia will work in collaboration with the Chinese government to empower citizens in the field of education and training. According to him, the agreement will help to enhance the development activity that the country has embarked upon in the textile sector. Due attention will be given for its implementation.
The textile industry has enormous potential for economic growth in Ethiopia and also elsewhere in the world, actually. We have been working relentlessly towards improving the skills of its workforce to meet the demand of the industry, the private sector. And we believe that collaboration with Shangtex will further boost the sector's overall role in skill development and knowledge transfer among many friends. Shangtex's experience as a forefronter in the textile industry will be invaluable in not just developing the sector, but also in encouraging mentorship for our entrepreneurs interested in this particular sector, the textile sector. Today, this Memorandum of Understanding represents a significant step forward in our shared aspirations to achieve sustainable development, employment opportunities, and skill development in Ethiopia.
The State Minister further said that the agreement will help to expedite the ongoing efforts to realizing sustainable development, job creation, and skills development in Ethiopia. He stated that the company will carry out skills development activities both in the country and abroad, noting that the company has planned to establish a training center in Ethiopia. Orient International Holding Chairman Tong Jisang said that the textile industry sector requires qualified and skilled workers and technology. The chairman added essential support will be extended to realizing this requirement in Ethiopia, mentioning that the Shangtex textile manufacturer under the company has extensive experience in the field. Jisang expressed commitment to extend essential support in producing qualified manpower in Ethiopia. The chairman said they strive to introduce high-level skills and technology in textile industry in Ethiopia, further stating that some 100 Ethiopians will travel to China to receive training in the field.
Manufacturing Industry Development Institute's Director General Milkeessa Jagema said realizing Ethiopia Tamret Late Ethiopia Produce movement is crucial to catalyze the nation's manufacturing industry by resolving the critical problem of coordination in the sector. Abeba Burhani has more on it.
The movement, which is part of the 10-year development plan for the industry sector, is intended to address the challenges that producers at all levels face during manufacturing and increase the sector's contribution to the GDP. In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, Institute Director General Milkeessa noted that manufacturing is one of the priority sectors with huge potential that the government wants to exploit. Citing the market problem at the industrial parks, he stated that some of the products manufactured in the parks are being sold locally due to lack of access to markets abroad, while diplomatic activities have been underway to get destinations for the goods. The other problem of the manufacturing industry is lack of coordination, and many stakeholders are working on this to solve the problem. Noting that integration and coordination are critical to the industry, Milkeessa said that the Ethiopia Tamret movement is designed to solve such critical problems. Apart from increasing export revenues, the movement aims to help manufacturers meet the increasing local demand by substituting imports and reducing production costs. The Director General added that a draft import substitution strategy is being developed to determine the types of products they produce for the local market, how to produce it, and the incentives for import substitution. He added that not only export promotion is needed, but also quality import substitutes to satisfy the demand is required. He stressed that there is lack of strategy in this area, adding that the draft strategy identify which kind of products should be produced as import substitutes and the incentive mechanism attached to it, as well as financial issues, among others.
Commercial Bank of Ethiopia and Golden Coffee Roaster have launched Cash Go Money Transfer app, enabling the Ethiopian diaspora to use easy and efficient money transfer. Ron Workana has the details.
President of Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, Bisano, and Chief Executive Officer and owner of Golden Coffee Roastery, Theodore Shifarao, signed the agreement on Friday. The agreement allows Ethiopian diaspora who live, among others, in Canada, Israel, the United States of America, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates to use CashGo application that enables direct bank account settlement to the bank accounts of their relatives and friends in Ethiopia without the need to pass through SWIFT. Abesano briefed journalists that the application will significantly make money transferred by the Ethiopian diaspora easy and efficient. He added, by using their Visa and MasterCard, the diaspora community can easily send money to Ethiopia directly to their friends and relatives' bank accounts. Abe further said, as the mobile application allows the diaspora to transfer from $5 to $1,000 in a single transfer. The Cash Go application is proven to be simple, secure and efficient, Abe said, adding customers in Ethiopia can receive the money sent through the application immediately at any of Commercial Bank of Ethiopia's 1,850 branches. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is providing convenient and efficient services to its customers using digital applications, he said, noting that the bank has transacted over 2.1 trillion birr over the last 9 months of the current fiscal year. Speaking on his part, Golden Coffee Roastery Chief Executive Officer and Owner Theodore Shifarov said, the mobile application is locally developed by Ethiopians. He further stated that the application is capable of serving customers in many local languages. He noted such digital foreign exchange transfer helps to alleviate the bank's foreign exchange shortages.
You're watching Amhara Media Corporation English Service, and now let's proceed to news beyond borders. In Senegal, Christians and Muslims reinforced their unity and solidarity with the Ngalak dessert specially prepared for Easter. In Senegal, where approximately 4% of the population is Christian, the feverish preparation that started before Easter to be celebrated on 9th April continues unabated. Christian families prepare a special dessert for Good Friday, which represents the end of the Great Lent fast that the Christian community keeps during the Easter period and coincides with the Friday before Easter Sunday. Ngalak, the first flavor that comes to mind when Easter is mentioned in Senegal, is prepared with tiarakri, a type of semolina commonly used in West Africa, baobab tree fruits, nutmeg, milk, sugar, and peanut cream. Christian families gather early on Friday at the home of a family elder and cook enough ngalak for almost the entire neighborhood. Ngalak has a liquid consistency and is served with grated coconuts, banana slices, and raisins. The young people of the house make a list of Muslim neighbors and acquaintances and distribute most of the dessert to them until Friday afternoon. Ngalak, an Easter tradition, is considered one of the symbols of unity and solidarity between Muslims and Christians in Senegal. Some 65 kilometers north of the Ugandan capital, Kampala, there is a lush green bamboo forest which is a brainchild of former journalist turned farmer Andrew Ndawla Kalema. Kalema switched from journalism to bamboo farming in order to contribute to the reversal of environmental damage being seen in the East African country. In 2010, Uganda had 6.93 million hectares of tree cover, extending over 29% of its land area. In 2021, it lost 49,000 hectares of tree cover, equivalent to 23.5 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions. Ndawla Kalema says bamboo, which is fast-growing and can adapt to different weather conditions, is key to mitigating the effects of climate change in Uganda. In recent years, Ndawla Kalema has been upgrading his bamboo farm, which he started in 2009 as a hobby. Growing bamboo on farmers' fields was something unheard of a few years ago, as the plant was mainly seen growing in the wild. That's no longer the case, as increasing number of farmers adopt bamboo planting due to its income-generating benefits. Bamboo is best known for its strength and durability. Ndawla Kalema says there are thousands of potential products, even bicycle frames. Demonstrations were organized in different cities of Morocco to protest against the soaring prices of foodstuffs at the call of the coalition of left-wing parties. Bukhari Zaudu presents the story.
A journalist from Agence France Presse noted in Casablanca more than 60 people demonstrated their fed up against the high cost of living at the Saragna Square in popular district of the megalopolis. A 21-year-old, Fouad, who took part in the demonstration called by the Social Front, a coalition of left-wing parties and trade unions, said he cannot take it anymore. Life has become painful because of the price increase. This young apprentice teller added he feels that he has no future. Member of the executive board of the Democratic Confederation of Labor, Abdelkader Amhara, told Agence France Presse that they denounce the policy of the government which promised to be a government of the social state but which turns out to be one of the social disparities. Groups of demonstrators also gathered in Rabat, Tangier or Marrakesh. An Agence France Presse journalist reported the price hike is a disgrace. Their country is agricultural, but vegetables are expensive, chanted some 60 protesters gathered in front of the parliament in the capital. The protests came amid a surge in inflation that has put the government under fire from trade unions and the parliamentary opposition and the local media. This inflation is accentuated by the sharp rise in food prices above 18.2% in the middle of the holy month of Ramadan, during which the level of consumption usually increases. According to the High Commission for Planning, growth rebounded to above 3% in the first quarter of 2023, compared to above 0.3% in the same period last year. At the same time, the Central Bank of Morocco raised its key rate by 50 basis points to 3% on March 21 in order to curb the rise in prices affecting low-income and vulnerable households. This is the third time that the Bank of Morocco has raised its key rate since September 2022. The decision goes against the government's roadmap for economic recovery in the kingdom.
This is Amhara Media Corporation English service, and now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates. That's all the news we have for today. I'm Gaila Damu. Thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of our programs.